The Autobiography of Mark Twain is a memoir penned by the renowned American author Mark Twain, recorded by biographer Albert Payne from 1906 to 1910. The book encompasses extensive recollections and commentary on Twain's life, literary works, and the society of his time. Despite Twain's request for the book not to be published until a century after his death, Payne released it in 1924, a mere 14 years after Twain's passing. This sprawling autobiography is structured into 79 chapters, preceded by a preface where Twain addresses readers from beyond the grave. The initial 17 chapters trace Twain's life from his birth in 1835 until his father's demise in 1847. Born as Samuel Langhorne Clemens in the small town of Florida, Missouri, Twain is the sixth child of John and Jane Clemens, with 6 siblings in total. During his childhood, Twain spends a few months each year on a family-owned farm, forming friendships with the enslaved individuals working there. However, these experiences serve as stark reminders of the profound social disparities that exist between races in America. In terms of his own social standing, Twain is aware of his modest background, but takes pride in his ancestral connection to Geoffrey Clement, an English lord involved in Charles I's execution during the English Civil War. Twain proceeds to portray his compassionate mother and his less fortunate father, who invests in 100,000 acres of valueless farmland in Tennessee. He also highlights his close bond with his 10 years older brother, Orion. Additionally, Twain regales readers with tales of childhood friends and youthful pranks, including a humorous incident where he pretends to be mesmerized by a local hypnotist for the sake of mocking the performer on stage. In chapters 18 through 28, Twain's family grapples with increasing poverty, following his father's untimely death at the age of 48 due to pleurisy and pneumonia. To support the family, Twain takes on various jobs, such as working as a printer's apprentice, and later joining Orion's newspaper. After an unsuccessful venture to South America, Twain finds employment on a Mississippi River riverboat. He eventually ends up in Louisiana, where he briefly enlists in the Confederate Army, but swiftly abandons his post within 2 weeks. Following a series of unsuccessful business ventures, Orion secures a government secretary position in the Nevada Territory. Eager for a fresh start, Twain seizes the opportunity to join him out west and finds work as a writer for the Virginia City Enterprise. Twain shares a memorable anecdote in which he steps in to duel on behalf of his editor. Despite his intentions to carry out the duel, his opponent withdraws after false rumors spread about Twain's exceptional marksmanship. Later, Twain relocates to San Francisco and embarks on his first international journey, when he is sent to the Sandwich Islands to cover a boating incident. Chapters 29 to 35 delve into Twain's extensive travels, which would serve as the inspiration for his breakthrough work, The Innocents Abroad. Although the book achieves tremendous success, Twain's lack of experience in the publishing industry leads to the loss of most of his royalties. In chapters 36 to 42, Twain courts and marries Olivia Langdon, the daughter of a wealthy coal businessman who battled health issues throughout her life. Despite the loss of a son in childhood, Langdon gives birth to Susie, an exceptionally intelligent and precocious girl who, at the age of 13, writes a biography of her father. Chapters 43 to 52 depict Twain's growing reputation and literary triumphs, while also highlighting a recurring pattern in his life, creating considerable wealth for others, but receiving little himself. For instance, his ghostwritten memoirs of General Ulysses S. Grant, yield $500,000 for the future president's heirs. Despite entrusting his nephew-in-law with the publication of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and keeping contracts within the family, the nephew deceives Twain, spending the royalties before Twain can reclaim them. Chapters 53 to 60 delve into introspection as Twain contemplates his habitual laziness, which has resulted in numerous unfinished manuscripts. He also expresses admiration for his favorite writer, Rudyard Kipling. In chapters 61 to 64, Twain criticizes his former friend and colleague, Bret Harte, for abandoning his family and leaving creditors unpaid. However, recognizing the imperfections inherent in being human, Twain ultimately forgives Harte, perhaps due to his own tendencies toward indolence. Chapters 54 to 71 explore the heartbreaking deaths of both Twain's daughter and his wife, the former succumbing to meningitis and the latter plagued by an immune disease throughout her life. In chapters 72 to 78, Twain laments the state of literature in Europe, although he reserves praise for select English writers. The final chapter reflects Twain's contemplation on the women he has lost in his life, Olivia, Susie, and now his daughter Jean, who passed away from an epileptic seizure. Twain mourns having outlived these loved ones and looks toward death as a welcomed gift.